Hi, I'm Jesse Hilbert.
Hi, I'm Charlie Herbert.
And welcome
to Arthropod
Adventures.
Adventure. This is Season 3, Episode 17, The Fruit Spider.
The Shiny Fruit Spider.
This is Season 3, Episode 17, The Fruit Shiny Spider.
The Shiny Fruit Spider. So today's arthropod can be found just about everywhere.
And everywhere on the LBC.
Singing Snoop Dogg? It's kind of hard being Snoop D-O-double-G. So they're found in orchards, which comes into play with their common name. That'll give you a hint. But we find them all over our yard here. I've seen them throughout the forest. So
Beyonce.
Can
Beyonce.
Can you
Guess what it is? Can you guess what it is?
All right, Charlie, today's episode brings us to the world of the orchard orb weaver. These are these shiny spiders that we see all over our yard. They're all over your play castle, right? Yeah. So I picked this arthropod for a few reasons. First of all, we love spiders here, don't we?
Yep.
Which is a strange thing for me to say because 6 years ago, I never would have said those words. I would have screamed and ran for the hills. But all thanks to the birth of Charlie, I learned to not be afraid of spiders. I didn't want you to be.
And you know what he did in the pool? There was a spider in the pool. He screamed.
I didn't scream. I picked up a very large wolf spider, like the size of my palm. Yeah, but I picked it up, which I would not have done that long ago.
I'm not going to scream.
No, you are not. You don't. You're right.
And how did you do that on your own?
I know. I'm not as brave as you. But we do love and appreciate our eight-legged friends, right? So the scientific name for the orchard orb weaver is Lucagi.
Lucagabashina.
Lucagi. Say Lucagi. Lucagi.
Lucaja.
Venusta.
Mamacita.
The genus Lucagi is filled with spiders that are also referred to as long-jawed orb weavers. The name comes from Greek origins, and it can be found translated to both the words white and dawn. I also saw it translated as a bright gleam, and I could see how both of these would work because our specific spider is very shiny. And the species Venusta comes from Latin origin and translates to beautiful or lovely. And Charlie, this spider is beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. And it's not large, but it does make a beautiful web that we're going to talk about. But it really doesn't get much bigger than about 1/4 of an inch. It's pretty small, maybe a little bigger.
Like a little bigger than my thumb.
Yeah, honestly, it's a little bit a little smaller than the first digit of your thumb. Its body, yeah. So let's talk about this beautiful appearance. As always, we'll do our best to describe and wonder, but always refer back to our show notes, and you'll find a couple pictures of these spiders on our Instagram, arthropod_adventures_podcast.
Adventures.
So spiders have two body parts, as you know, or hopefully know, the cephalothorax and the abdomen.
And then thorax, pupa.
Spiders don't pupate.
Yes, they do.
That's some
Some
insect.
spiders poop.
I mean, spiders poop, yes. Yeah. So the predominant color on this spider is a metallic green. You'll find it running through most of its body. Their cephalothorax is a mix of a pale green and a more vibrant metallic green. And out from there go their 8 legs, which also start out green and end in a more of a palish green color. They have a darker band around each joint on their legs. And as their name suggests, they have longer jaws or chelicerae than you will find typical in a lot of other orb weavers. The abdomen is where the real magic is, Charlie. To start with, the abdomen is drastically bigger and longer and kind of stands out when you find one of these spiders. It's like finding a diamond in the rough. It's very roundish, ovalish in shape. And for other listeners, it gives me for the older listeners, there's a movie called Alien. It kind of reminds me of the xenomorph's head a little bit. If you get that, you get it. If you don't, that's okay. So It is streaked with greens, whites, and yellows.
Thorax, abdomen, pupa.
No, first of all, that's not it. You're thinking head, thorax, abdomen for some insects.
Pupa.
But for spiders, it's cephalothorax, abdomen. So they live up to their species name, truly being a beautiful, lovely species. And it does gleam or glisten when it hits the sun, in my opinion. The top of the abdomen has more white while the bottom has more green. There are darker colored streaks up top that give each spider its own unique shape and design. The lines kind of run parallel to each other with some connection in between. I've seen some that even kind of resemble a trident, like you might find in The Little Mermaid. You know, the trident that the Little Mermaid's dad holds. Kind of looks like a giant fork. Do you know what I'm talking about, Char?
Ariel's?
Yeah, Ariel's dad. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
We're taking a brief break from the show to share some excitingness. I know it's not a real word, but excitingness about a brand that we are working with called Dead Bird EcoWear. And it's more than just a clothing brand. Dead Bird EcoWear is a movement committed to restoring the earth. And as a proud veteran-owned business, they dedicate a portion of every purchase to global tree planting initiatives. Wear the change you want to be and wear the change you want to see, and make a positive impact with every outfit. Plus, listeners of Arthropod Adventures can use the code in all caps arthropod_adventures_podcast for 25% off their purchase. So join us in supporting sustainability and our veterans. Shop Dead Bird EcoWear. All right, so they don't build huge webs, Charlie, compared to some other orb weavers. And according to the article published by Deb Hansen, titled Orchard Orb Weaver, A Thing of Beauty, and I quote, but build a web about a foot to 18 inches across, so a foot or foot and a half. They prefer open, light areas, which is why she chose our porch, I suppose. Their webs are almost always horizontal or slanted and almost never vertical like many other orb weavers. End quote. Now, I can confirm this because almost every single orb weaver we have in our yard is an orchard orb weaver, and they all go horizontal to the ground. Some are on a diagonal angle, but I've never seen one completely vertical. These spiders are rampant. They're everywhere. And I like to think that it's a generational thing, Charlie. I like to think that one spider years ago had babies, and then that one had babies, and now they're just in our yard, and they're like our best friends, right?
Yeah, but the egg never hatched.
Oh, yeah, the funnel web spider's eggs never hatched. You're right. Oh, that's a sad one. Now, I do believe and make mental notes on where these spiders are because I do like to keep track of the spiders in our yard because we love them. And the Orchard Orb Weaver loves our garden space where we like to grow vegetables. And I like to think about them as the guardians of our gardens.
Sometimes dogs have babies.
Sometimes dogs do have babies.
And cats.
Sure. Lots of things have babies.
Babies.
How?
Yes.
I mean, they exchange genetic material and then the mom gives birth. Same way that lots of arthropods do.
Oh.
Yep. So much was learned from the article why can I not remember how to say the scientific name? Brain fart moment, huh? Yeah? Let me think, try. Lucagi. So a lot of this was gotten from the article Lucagi venusta, the orchard spider, written by Megan Mulcahy, Huval, Forrest, Carlton.
Like Gustavo.
Kind of like that. And Christopher E. Carlton. They spoke a lot about their webs that I can also attest to from finding them in our yard. They hang upside down in their tilted or horizontal webs, and due to their size, you will often find many of them in a small area. And I know I often find 2 or 3 webs almost like connected. Now, they also stated, and I quote, immature spiders often build their webs near the ground, while the adults build them higher up off the ground, end quote. This is one that I will be paying a close attention to for the rest of the summer right, Charlie?
Mhm.
We'll go inspect. You know what? We should go inspect the webs right after we record this episode, right?
Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna go outside
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. And the article was also a valuable resource for their mating habits,
Guess who it
which we
is?
actually saw earlier in the summer. We saw a male on the female's web. So like a lot of
we
other.
found a big web
Yeah.
that was rained on.
Oh yeah, that was this morning. Yeah, I don't know what kind of spider web, but that was a beautiful spider web.
Yeah.
Like a lot of other spiders, the males will pass his genetic materials to the female via his pedipalps, which you may or may not have noticed before. And a lot of male spiders, they pedipalps will end with like a large club-like thing. You'll find them right in front of their face.
Bigger than my thumb?
Well, it's not bigger than your thumb, because a spider's not bigger than your thumb. But
Well, Daddy Longlegs is because.
well, yes, the daddy long legs whole leg system is bigger than your
Yeah,
thumb.
but his little is even smaller than this.
Yeah. So in a wonderful interaction, their courtship, it's a courtship that involves
And
vibrations. Vibrations, Charlie,
You also-
which I bet is great to witness. And
you also
if-
can't hold-
go ahead, Char.
You also can't hold a Daddy Longlegs' legs
Yes, don't hold them by the legs. Why not?
because it could either die or his leg can fall off
Yes.
because
They will make their legs fall off so they can get away from predators, and we don't want to do that, right? No. So, can we get back to the mating of this spider now? Excellent. So, in a wonderful interaction, the courtship includes vibrations, which I bet is great to witness. And if it's successful, the male will get the chance to run across the female's web and put his genetic material into her reproductive tract. The female will, and I quote, construct an egg sac of loose, fluffy, orange-white silk in a protected area in or near the web. The dark orange eggs are tiny, and several hundred may be present in the egg sac, end quote. These really can be a benefit to your garden or yard, as they eat potential pests. But just as they can be predators, they can also be prey. And in an unfortunate way for our featured spider, they can be parasitized by wasps in the genus Hymenopithecus. Whew! I gotta work on my Latin. So they are stung by these wasps, Charlie. And unlike a few of the parasitic wasps we've talked about in the podcast, it does not paralyze them for the rest of their lives. It gives the wasp a chance to lay her eggs at the base of the spider's abdomen. Then, once it's hatched, it will begin to consume the spider from the inside. So the spider's alive. The wasp lays her eggs inside the spider. Her eggs hatch, and then they eat the spider. What do you think about that? Use your words. They can't see you.
No.
You don't like it?
No.
Yeah. And the wasp larva will continue eating until the time has come to play its final card, which will end in a series of unfortunate events. The larva will then, and I quote from the LSU article, injects the spider with a hormone that causes erratic behavior. The spider stops hunting and spinning orderly webs and eventually stops moving altogether. End quote. And I will leave you with the coolest fact possible about this genus, as it was the one and only Charles Darwin who gave this spider genus the name, and was in fact the only spider he ever named. So thanks to Charles Darwin. So the next time you find yourself out in your garden, or maybe in an orchard, be on the lookout for the gleaming, beautiful orchard orb weaver. Appreciate her loveliness, and maybe even give her a thank you. We like to thank the spiders in our yard, don't we, Charlie?
Mhm.
All right.
Why does it say Jude?
Where's it say Jude? Oh, because you know what? We love Jude.
And why did it not say Herbert?
I don't know. All right. You said thanks for listening?
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to check the show notes.
That's right. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, right, Charlie?
Yeah.
If you have an arthropod you would love to hear about, want to tell us what you think about the show, or found one of our mistakes, send us an email at arthropodadventurespodcast@gmail.com. And you can find us on Instagram at arthropod_adventures_podcast and follow us there. And thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Never stop learning. Show your show notes and never stop learning.
Stay inquisitive
And never stop learning.
and always check out the show notes. You're right.